Hey everyone! This video is in response to Julian Pollock, J3PO's recent video comparing the Prophet 5 and Prophet 6 synthesizers. There are a couple differences in sound between those two synthesizers that he showcases really well in that video. And I think some of those differences can be mediated pretty effectively on the Prophet 6 by using the oscillator 2 as an LFO through the polymod section. So I'm going to kind of show you what I've been messing around here with, and I'm going to demonstrate two of the sounds that he uses in that video to showcase the differences between the two synths. One of them is the Tom Sawyer opening sound, and the other one is the kind of slow filter sweepy sound that he does at around 21 or 22 minutes. So I'm going to turn the camera around and let's get started. Alright, so the idea here is pretty straightforward. Since we don't have a vintage knob on the Prophet 6 to randomize our 6 envelopes and kind of make them work out of sync with each other, we're going to use our 6 oscillator 2s as low frequency oscillators through the polymod section. They're going to be naturally a little bit out of sync with each other, so we can do kind of some things with them which will randomize the filter's behavior so that all 6 of those voices aren't moving perfectly in sync. And that effect is a lot of what creates the difference between the sounds of the Prophet 5 and the Prophet 6. So let's get started with the Tom Sawyer sound. I'm going to initialize a patch. If I was going to design this sound without using the polymod section, without using what I talked about, I might turn the filter resonance up pretty high, make a envelope with a fast attack and a slow decay. Right, something like that. And then to give it a lot more beef to it, I'm going to put all 6 oscillators in unison. And I end up with something like this. Alright, so I can mess around with that all day. I could get it a little bit closer to that sound, but it's just not really right, and it's not going to get there unless we use oscillator 2. So I'm going to turn oscillator 2 to low frequency. I'm going to turn it down real low and make sure it's on triangle. And I'm going to send oscillator 2 to the low pass filter and just send a little bit of it. And this might take some finagling to get it just right, but let's see how it sounds just kind of guessing at the values. Right? So even me just guessing at it without even playing it, you can already tell it's way closer. Alright, so I'm going to go to the sound that I saved, to the patch that I saved where I tried to really dial this in. And once I kind of dialed all those values in, here's how it sounds. Alright, so I think that sounds pretty close. Obviously I'm using reverb, but other than that, I'm just sort of messing with the values of what I just showed you until it sounds just right. So yeah, that's the Tom Sawyer sound. Let's try the same thing for this slow filter sweep sound. So I'm going to initialize a patch. We're going to have oscillator 1 and the sub octave on. I'm going to turn it into a square wave, close the filter about halfway, turn the resonance up. Envelope's not going to matter too much for this sound, but let's... have a little bit of one. Alright, and if I was going to make this sound normally, I would send the LFO on a triangle wave to the low pass filter and it sounds pretty good, but the LFO is, you know, moving perfectly in sync for all the voices, and that's what we're trying to figure out how to get away from. So we're going to turn this LFO off, turn oscillator 2 into a low frequency oscillator, put it on triangle, make it pretty slow, and then use the polymod section to send that to the low pass filter. So now we're going to get 6 LFOs that are all out of sync with each other. Play the same thing and hear the difference. To me, it's kind of night and day. Sounds amazing, and it sounds a lot closer to the Prophet 5. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this trick inspires some new sounds and some new songs. Check out the rest of my channel if you want to see some of the rest of what I do. Keep watching Julian's channel. He has a lot of amazing tips on there. I've learned some really neat things from him that I can do with the Prophet, and yeah, I'm glad to be able to add some of my tricks to that pile. It's a really amazing synthesizer, and I hope that if you're a Prophet 6 owner and you had some hard feelings upon learning that the Prophet 5 would be released, I hope that this video has helped mediate some of those feelings. The Prophet 6 is an amazing synthesizer. I'm thankful to have it. If you have one, you should be thankful to have it. I don't think there's any reason to feel jealous or feel like you're missing out if you don't have the Prophet 5. So have a good night or a good day. See you next time.